do a quick recipe video where I talk about 2 recipes, and I found 1 vegetarian and 1 meat recipe. So I have not yet tried the vegetarian recipe, but I have tried the meat recipe, and I've actually had it many times because my mom used to make it when I was a kid, and I made it many times. So I feel that I am pretty good at it. So I thought I would make a video just talking about that. Quick video, quick ASMR recipe video. I'm actually made another video on my camera, my real camera, that I will upload soon. But these that I do with my phone, I could upload like instantly, you know? So, ASMR, quick recipes. With gum chewing. Okay, all the recipes just fell on the floor. Okay, so this first recipe is from, let me first mention, it's really beautiful out right now, and everyone's out, and they're having drinks and dinner, so you're gonna hear them, like you did last summer. Okay, so this first recipe is from The Joy of Cooking, old school classic cookbook. This book is the original one that I grew up with. I remember this as a child. This is like a home, this is like a staple in my home. The Joy of Cooking. Always on the shelf. Very familiar. This was my mom's. I have another copy as well. And this was always next to oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now when I really shouldn't. With Julia Child, with her book, with her original classic book. I can't remember which cookbook was that. Mastering the Art of French Cooking, maybe. Whatever. So The Joy of Cooking. And the first recipe that I'm going to read out of here actually just closed, so let me find it really quick. Is a beef stew. I think it's pronounced boeuf bourguignon. Boeuf bourguignon. I'm trying to remember how my mom used to say it. Boeuf bourguignon. It's terrible. I sound like a moron. Okay, I'm gonna find it right now. That's right. Oh, okay. Beef stew with wine, or boeuf bourguignon. It's beef stew with red wine. So what I'll do is I'll just read it right out of the cookbook. Let's do it like this. Like this. For added bouquet, the meat may be marinated and refrigerated overnight in dry red wine. Drain and reserve wine for use in cooking the stew. Preheat oven to 300. I wonder if I need glasses. I haven't read this close, but when I do, it's like blurry. Wow. aging. Okay. Preheat oven to 300. Half a pound thinly sliced blanched salt pork. You may substitute 3 tablespoons butter for the pork, but don't expect the same subtle flavor. Okay, so don't expect the same subtle flavor. If you substitute 3 tablespoons of butter for the pork, don't expect the same subtle flavor. I'm ad-libbing. Peel, add, and saute lightly. I need glasses. This is amazing. I actually haven't read anything in quite a long time. And I used to read all the time. But sit down and read, I haven't done that in a while because you know why? The last time I did that, it hurt my eyes. My eyes would ache. Like in the back of my eyes, they would ache. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Okay, you may substitute 3 tablespoons butter for the pork, but don't expect the same subtle flavor. Okay. Peel, add, and saute. Okay, right there. 12 small onions or 4 shallots. Remove pork and onions from pan and reserve. Cut into 1-inch dice and saute in the hot fat until light brown. Here we go. 2 pounds lean, boneless stewing beef. This is the part that I always remember, that what Julia Child said. When you have this lean, boneless stewing beef, make sure that you chop it up in nice, substantial portions, so that when you dice the meat, it's not tiny. Because what does Julia Child say? That reminds her of cat food. Yeah. So make them nice and thick. Make them nice and meaty. Sprinkle meat with 1.5 tablespoons flour. Place it in an oven-proof dish with 1 teaspoon salt, 4 peppercorns. So I guess they would just be 4 whole peppercorns. A half a bay leaf. 1 or 2 cloves of garlic minced. A half a teaspoon thyme or sweet marjoram. Using the reserved wine, if you marinated the meat, bring to the boiling point enough dry red wine and water to cover the meat. Okay, yeah. So it would be 3/4 wine to 1/4 water. Simmer, covered in a 300 oven for 2 hours. Okay. Place pork and onions on top of the meat and continue to simmer, covered another hour or until beef is tender. For the last 10 minutes of cooking, you may add 1 cup sauteed mushrooms, seasoned to taste. Serve the stew sprinkled with chopped parsley. You may flambe, page 155, at the last minute with half a cup of brandy. I definitely never do that. Never. I never did that. That would be interesting. I really don't know how to flambe. I have accidentally flambéed, but I know that if you put like the oil onto that open flame, it's gonna fire. I really don't understand it, so that won't be happening. And then you can make French bread and noodles, mashed potatoes. We always had it with rice, with white rice, but it would be good with noodles, mashed potatoes, all that. I think I have served it with potatoes, but the only thing is with potatoes, unless you mash them, because there's a ton of sauce, so you need something to sop up that sauce. I think that's it. You probably can't hear what I hear. Okay. The next recipe is the vegetarian one. And that is from Vegetarian Cooking for Everyone. I should really treat my books a little better. Oh, did I shut it? I keep shutting the pages that I'm supposed to go to. Okay, this is my first go at quick ASMR recipes. So you're gonna have to just work with me today. Okay, I found a bread that was, oh, here it is. Okay, cinnamon rolls. No, I didn't want to read that one. I wanted to read, I was reading about cinnamon rolls, but then it led me to another sort of dessert, which was, oh, right here, babka, page 638. I'm on page 678, so 638. Babka sounded interesting, and I'm thinking, I'm really terrible at, I don't want to say I'm terrible because I don't want to jinx myself, like I'm always going to suck, but sweets. I don't have a good history with sweets, with making sweets. Savory is where it's at for me. But I would like to make a good sweet. I can make pumpkin pie really good. And that has been like a showstopper. That's it. You know. And I use real pumpkin, of course. No can, never can. Okay, so this one's called babka with dried cherry and almond filling. This sounds really good. I don't even know what babka is, or babka, like baba, like what is that sweet dessert with the honey, with the phyllo dough? Why can't I think of it? Anyway, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Okay, let me try that again. 2 1/2 teaspoons or 1 envelope of active dry yeast. 1/2 cup of warm milk. 1/2 cup of teaspoon sugar plus extra for the top. Now, if I haven't mentioned this yet, this is babka with dried cherry and almond filling. Almond filling. Okay, so 1/3 cup plus a teaspoon sugar plus extra for the top. Okay, 1/4 pound or 1/2 cup of butter, preferably unsalted at room temperature. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 2 eggs at room temperature. 1/2 cup of sour cream. 4 cups of all-purpose flour. So that is how to make the babka. So the cherry almond filling is 1 1/4 cups whole or slivered almonds toasted. 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup butter, preferably unsalted at room temperature. 1/2 cup packed light brown sugar. 1/2 teaspoon vanilla. 1/4 teaspoon almond extract. 1 egg at room temperature. A cup dried cherries or a mixture of cherries and golden raisins. So what you're going to do is you're going to stir the yeast, milk, and 1 teaspoon of the sugar together in a small bowl and set aside. until foamy, which will be about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, in a mixing bowl, beat the butter with the remaining sugar and the salt until creamy. Add the eggs one at a time, followed by the sour cream and yeast. Add the flour by the cup until it clears the side of the bowl, then turn it out and knead until the dough feels silky and smooth. Transfer to a buttered bowl. Place a piece of plastic wrap directly over the surface and set aside to rise until doubled in bulk, or refrigerate overnight. Make the filling. Cover the dried fruit, if hard, with hot water until softened. 10 to 15 minutes. Then drain, squeeze dry, and set aside. Grind the almonds finely. Cream the butter with the sugar until smooth. Then add the flavorings, egg, and ground almonds. Punch. Okay, punch down the dough. Then roll it into a rectangle, approximately 1 times 2 feet. 1 by 2 feet. If you've refrigerated it, leave it at room temperature for about 2 hours before rolling. It will still feel a little cold. Cover with the almond filling, leaving a 1.5-inch border all the way around. Then scatter the cherries on top. Roll it tightly and transfer to a highly buttered cookie sheet. Form it into a crescent, with the ends pointing towards the center, or slice crosswise to make individual rolls. Set aside, covered with a towel until doubled in bulk, about 1 hour. During the last 15 minutes, preheat the oven to 375 Fahrenheit. Brush the bread with the glaze. Sprinkle generously with sugar. Then bake it in the center of the oven until golden brown and cook through about an hour. If it gets too dark while baking, cover it loosely with foil. Let cool on a rack, but serve warm. So that is the babka with dried cherry and almond filling. Okay, so that will conclude my ASMR quick recipe shorts. And yes, we'll see how that goes. Have a good afternoon, evening, day, morning, night, and I'll see you in the next video.